Folks, this is the end-all interview. Here it is. You wanted it, you got it. I have a couple of women on the other end of the phone here. You've seen them, you've heard them, but here they are, together. They're not actually together, by the way. They're in their own homes. But I have Kim Sterne, who you may know from Corey Feldman Facts fame. She's the co-owner, writer, producer, all the above, right? Yeah, all the above. You know her from the interview she gave. Kim, is it right to say defected from the Nazi regime, and now you're on the side of actual intelligence? No offense to the good people out there. No offense to the good folks that still actually think that this guy is worth anything. And here she is, for your listening pleasure, Judy Haim. You know her.
Yeah.
You love her.
Hello.
That's her. Judy.
Hi, Judy. Yeah.
I'm going right for the throat. Why are you interviewing? Right for the throat. Yes. I've got my hands around your proverbial neck. Why are you on the phone with us interviewing at this moment? Why? Why is this happening?
Why did this happen? Well, I asked you to give me a platform, and I appreciate you wanted to use your YouTube channel. Because, there's a lot of talk, it has been, but now I see it more and more about Corey Feldman's documentary, and how he is going to expose emails and me lying. The guy's lost his mind and all of that stuff, and he's exposing this, and he's exposing the truth, and him as a stupid, truth campaign, and I'm curious to know. Now we're going to find out real quick who the haters are, because, no matter what I say, those ones that are for Feldman, and it's fine, anybody can have like an idol or, be a fan or whatever. But man, oh man, I tell you, these people are relentless. I don't know any of them. I've never met them. They've never lived with me, ever. But they have an awful lot to say about me. So I'm curious. Now I'm going to find out real quick who they are. And I just want to also say before you go on, Bobby, that this one, I wanted to talk about this one because I was really amazed at, when I heard that he is going to expose the emails, I'm going, what the heck? I mean, honestly, this guy is so incredibly irrelevant in my life that I never think of him. So all of it, every once in a while, the book came out, the movie came out. Man, if somebody is writing anybody's coattails, this is like a huge sign. And now the documentary, and so I went to look, and look for all my emails, but I, with this hiding stuff, like he knows what kind of a relationship Corey and I had. He knows really well. I mean, being jealous of the tightness that Corey and I had, like we were each other's rocks, and he dares challenges me. Corey Feldman, get a fucking life and go get a job, okay? You're pissing me off in a big way. Now, I want people to understand, and I really hope people understand that there is a pattern here. There is an awful lot of stuff that people can go and check. Do homework on a certain person. Don't just, listen to other people. Do your own homework. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn about what's going on here. So there is a pattern here. He makes noise about Haim with every single subject that he does, whether it's a book, movie, documentary, and then he hides. He's the one that is hiding, people. Is hiding behind my son, because if he talks about Haim a lot, and he does, about Haim a lot, and I'm going to expose my best friend's rapist, and I'm going to expose, and then he goes, and then it's very obvious that he doesn't really have to talk about himself anymore. His own, shady life and everything else, or exposing pedophiles like he promised on the Megyn Kelly show and all of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is really, really fishy. So I'm sorry to go on and on, but I'm telling you, I'm so pissed, Bobby, that's the reason I wanted to do this. And I have to mention that, it's really amazing to me. He was never one of those friends that came to my house to have a dinner or whatever. All of other Corey's friends practically lived with us, and and it was like I don't remember spending more than 5 minutes talking to this guy throughout his life since they were teenagers.
Really?
But he seems to know and he seems to know an awful lot about me.
Well,
And hiding and this, and she knows the truth. Wow.
well, I don't.
So they
So-
really weren't best friends then, like he tries to portray it?
They were best friends when, not best friends, not even, but I mean, when we moved to Los Angeles in 1986, he already did like about 6 movies, okay, even including Lucas, which I was mortified. I saw Corey Feldman on one of the interviews actually saying, "Oh, who is that Canadian actor Corey Haim who is stealing all my parts? I wanted to be in Lucas." And I thought, wow, this guy's had it in for him before he even met him, which is really sad. So, yeah, they were friends, of course. They met when they had to do The Lost Boys, so my son didn't know anybody there. He introduced him to a bunch of people. But for goodness sakes, later on, they were not friends. I mean, just go and watch the 2 Coreys, and you'll see what's going on over there. You don't have to be blind, right?
Links
Yeah.
will be
I did see.
links will all be in the
It's
description, folks.
unbelievable to me.
Links will
and
be
then
in the
I was
description.
thinking also, with all this third project that he's doing, he cannot name any names without doing a project, without making money, and it's always about Corey. Now my Corey is not here, so now he's attacking me, okay? And I was thinking, Heath Ledger, Brittany Murphy, Anna Nicole Smith, and many others, I am really, really sorry that these people are gone before Corey. I feel terrible for their parents. Because any parents that lost a child, whether in this industry or not, would understand my heart, my pain, my roller coaster of emotions that never end. And I have to deal with this devil threatening me all the time. This is unbelievable, unacceptable, and it can go to hell and back. That's all I can say.
Now,
Okay?
Judy,
This time, yes.
now, Judy, I want to remind you this is a family show, and we're going to keep that language clean.
Yes, so you can delete that one because I'm very, very upset. My health is actually, it's getting like in the middle of all of this, because this is crazy. I want to ask Corey Feldman, seriously, what would you have done if it was the reverse, Corey? What would you have done if you would have lost your son, God forbid, and somebody did this to you to ride his coattails for 9 years? What would you have done? How would have handled it? That's what I want to know.
Good point.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, it's a despicable display of abuse that no parent that lost a child should go through. Okay.
I agree.
And Feldman has caused all of this, and I am not hiding anything. Absolutely. All I asked him to do is do me a favor, because in the beginning, all I heard, and I was surprised, every interview that he's done since my kid passed was always one of those like, oh, me and Corey Haim, oh, I'm going to expose this thing, and we have to get the pedophiles. And I'm thinking, what the hell is he talking about?
I have seen...
and why doesn't he...
I've seen him. I've heard him. I've been sent stuff where he's said things like, yeah, look at my wife at the pool. It reminds me of when me and Corey hung out. He'll throw that reference in with anything. If he's eating breakfast, if it's June 19th, yeah, this is 39 and a half days from the day that Corey and I, but it doesn't matter. It's the veiled attempt at trying to disassociate himself from associating himself with your son is pretty pathetic.
Listen, it's actually kind of scary, okay? From some of the emails, which I'm going to read later, it's pretty scary. I'm not going to read everything, but the way he's describing a bunch of stuff. Anyways, we're gonna get to it. I just want to say, Corey Feldman, I'm not hiding anything. I asked you a simple favor. Don't desecrate my son's grave. stop talking about him. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. And I thought about it for almost 9 years. And you know what conclusion I came out to? You are the one that's hiding. Oh, my God. You are hiding behind my son. Seriously. This is a serious, serious business. You have a problem.
Didn't
It's
you actually send him a cease and desist?
You know, actually, I did in 2016 because I already had enough at that point. All I heard is Corey, 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 and not in a nice way. I'm surprised that Feldman couldn't take responsibility and just for his own life, write about you. That's what I asked him to do. Write about your own life. Talk about your own life. Don't you have a life? You
Right.
have, a third time married. You must have something going on in your life.
But
Okay?
well,
You have a
technically,
wife and a girlfriend,
technically,
and your son is around, blah, blah, blah.
technically, he's only really been. What did you say that he was married 3 times?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, technically twice, because if you all remember, and you can go and Google this, he had
No,
a
that's true.
2.5-year relationship that came out after
Yeah.
that it was a joke. We were just
That's right.
kidding. Folks, that link will be in the description. They had a 2.5-year marriage. What was it? Some soap opera actress or something like that?
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
came out as a joke. They played a 2.5-year joke with the world that they
Yeah.
were married.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
pathological. I don't care
I forgot
if
about
you
that.
yeah, if you're a Hollywood actor or not. That's a bit pathological. I mean, not that he has the greatest publicist right now, but I think that one needs some serious help because that publicity stunt, what? Anyway,
Well, she may not have been his publicist then, but this publicist, is like, she's another one that I don't know, never met. She claims that she knew Corey. If she knew him for 5 minutes, everybody claims they knew Corey for 5 minutes. She said that they went out. I would have known, and she talks about me like she lived in my own house. They should all be incredibly ashamed of themselves. I don't think they have so much hatred in their lives, in their hearts, that I think they're breathing and living unless they say something ugly at someone else. I don't think they can even breathe. As I found out after being on social media, I'm not on Twitter, but I get a lot of snapshots, and I hear what people are telling me, and it's absolutely absurd. It's ridiculous, it's shameful, and shame on all of them. Okay, I don't know any of them. And for doing this to a mother, and a lot of these people have kids. It's ridiculous. But let me get back to Kim's question about the cease and desist. So I actually did. I sent him a cease and desist, which he didn't abide on. He actually, one time only, I saw him on Dr. Oz.
Right.
And I was really surprised, right, Kim? And he goes, and he said, oh, I can't talk about Corey because, of respect for his mother. And I'm thinking, wow, you've done so much damage already, and all of a sudden you have respect for me?
Right.
But this did not last very, very long. It lasted maybe a minute, and he went back. Because unless he talks about my Corey, he has nothing else to talk about. If you do have something else to talk about, Feldman, then frickin' prove it. Yep. It's all about Corey. You're not attached by the hip. You were not his partner. When I hear him saying, oh, my partner, my best friend, I want to throw up. My partner? Why? Do you have, any contract with him? Do you have a studio together? Do you have, you weren't part of our family. You weren't really a good friend. As a matter of fact, you came into my house, Corey Feldman, the day that Corey passed away, and you were shocked at the amount of people that were there. My friends, Corey's friends, you know why you were shocked? Because you weren't around. You have no idea who our friends were. So what did you do in your book? You called everybody a rubberneckers from your jealousy. Get a life. Okay, get a life.
I think he has a hard time understanding the concept of true friendship and loyalty.
Well, but it's really sick, because everything in his life, as everybody knows, is Corey, Corey, Corey. Me and my Corey, me and my Corey. What is that? You know how many friends my son has? He has lifelong friends from going to school here in Toronto. He's got friends that he's made, like Greg Harrison and other friends that I don't want to mention, but they're really, really amazing friends in Los Angeles and Toronto and everything that were around him. These guys have never seen Corey Feldman around. You know, I don't remember Corey Feldman. These guys practically lived in my house. They were buddies. They were part of my family, and they still are until today. These guys are taking care of me. Corey Feldman is the only one that is trying to make money. Not trying. He is making money off of my son's name without permission.
Well, that's interesting because according to Feldman, they were best friends, and also according to him, Haim told him that in the event that he dies, he was supposed to be the one to tell the story. And I believe you were there. Were you not for that, Judy?
You know, I was there, and you know who else was there? Dre, this guy DeAndre. Anybody can go and listen to his interview with Bobby. He was there. Yes, he was. So, you know, after, obviously, if anybody watched the two Coreys, they obviously know that it didn't end well. It didn't end well at all. And my Corey didn't really forgive him at all. He was really mad. So what happened is one day he actually bought Zen Corey's kid like a stuffed animal. He wanted to go and bring it. So we decided to go over. And his wife at the time, Susie, she actually made dinner and whatever. But before that, there was an article. He was so pissed. And the People magazine, and he actually said that Corey could have done more to protect him, but my said Corey's a fake friend, you know, and that says a lot.
It sure does.
Yeah, and that says an awful lot. And so first he was this interview that he did with People, and then we and he did another video. Actually, Bobby can show it. You know, it was like where he wanted to punch him through the TV. Yeah. You know, I don't remember exactly the words, but he did, and he was so pissed at both of them, but he still talked to him, and he wanted to go and see Zen and everything else. Anyways, we went over that night, and we all sat in the living room and watched TV, and they didn't leave the room at all. Nobody left. We were all there watching Zen playing, and Dre was sitting next to us on the couch, and his wife was cooking, I don't know, whatever she was making, and everything else. And this is the night that he says that my son actually told him that in case he dies, now, to tell his life story. Now, Corey always goes and finds new things, what he's doing, Feldman, okay? I told him to do me a favor and not talk about my son. So now he's finding things about me. Then he found something to say about my Corey. Oh, no, he told me to tell his story, you know, and I vowed to do that. When did he tell you to do? That night did not happen. He never told you that night. So you're lying.
Right.
You're lying in a big way. You're lying. You're using it so you can get away with it, just like you did on the steps of the Child USA, right, Kim?
Great point, yes. That really offended me because my husband did pass away from suicide, and he claimed that Corey Haim took his own life, which the autopsy is public knowledge that he did not.
That was unbelievable. When I heard that, you know what? I'm sorry. I thought, you know what? You opportunist. I didn't even know what to make of it. You know, people
I was hurt for you watching that.
Well, thank you. But I'm telling you right now, that was just to prove a point. He wanted to prove to them that he's going after pedophiles, and this is such a big problem, which it is, but he's still not naming anyone, okay? So he's not protecting children, and he wanted to give, again, my son as an example how disrespectful this guy is I have no words for him. He is like evil, okay? So that was a horrible thing to do, and you know, even Child USA, I don't know why they're not looking into some history here. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. But in any case, so yes.
Well, we're gonna be looking
at Child USA. Didn't he kind of do something about?
Well, we're gonna be looking into Marcy. I forget what her name is. Marcy Hamilton, I believe, is the attorney that heads up Child USA. And she had some very, very strange dealings with the cover-up of the Penn State raping of those boys, and whatnot. And
Right.
so birds of a feather. But yeah, you know what, before we go on to the next point, for sure, if you look at every endeavor that Feldman has been involved in since Corey's death,
Right.
everything other than his music has been somewhat related to Corey, if not directly
Yeah.
related to Corey. You have everything from
Yep.
his freaking book, from his truth campaign, from his videos, from his Child USA, from his tweets, from his Instagram post, everything. The only thing that is not related to the late Corey Haim is music, as we said again. And we all know how well that went. For instance, this is going to be linked in the description. That wonderful Today show performance that went viral. Folks, 5,849 comments as of the time of this recording. All right, let's just read a few of them. This is beyond cringe.
Okay.
I didn't know Skrillex could sing. All Beavis and Butthead once said, "This sucks. I just shit myself. Literally. I laughed so hard." Oh, I might have paraphrased that one, but this was extremely difficult to watch, and so on, and so on, and so on. So the one thing that he has done that is not directly, or that he doesn't try to directly relate to Corey, he failed miserably at. Ex-bandmates suing him,
Yeah.
going after him, filing charges, alleging
Yep.
he raped them. All these miserable, horrible things are coming about from the music career that just coincidentally doesn't have anything to do with Corey Haim. But the other stuff
Well,
does have stuff to do with Corey Haim because he keeps bringing him in on it. Isn't nobody sees that? All right, folks, second of all, before we go on, here's my involvement in this interview or this talk. I'm going to say this is more of a chat, not really an interview. My involvement in this is going to be, I'm going to step in and play devil's advocate here because I've read the emails and I've read some stuff. So I'm going to be the hard hitter here. I'm not going to be saying much more after that, except to go on, Judy, Kim, with something next that we have to, we're going right for the throat again, right for the throat. Now, there have been some miserable, rotten folks out. Yes, Judy.
I was going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but before we go into all of that stuff, I want to remind everybody that this is really, really important. That, on the two Coreys, my son looked at him, and it's true. Feldman really was detrimental to his health. He made fun of him. He used every opportunity he had over the years to just go out there and say that Corey's on drugs, Corey's whatever. My son had plenty of opportunity to do that about Feldman, and he never did. So that's what my Corey said when he actually talked to him, and he exposed his own abuser, which was Corey Feldman's friend, Dominic, which Feldman is hiding behind. And he's detrimental to my health. So what I'm thinking is, Corey Feldman was very shocked if you looked at his face, and he said, "I can destroy you right now." And you know what? He started all this BS after my son passed away. So I have a feeling that he said, "Okay, now I'm going to destroy him. Now I'm going to destroy his mother. Now I'm going to go on and use all of these things to my benefit." This makes an awful lot of sense to me. I don't know about you guys.
I think he went after you because it seems that anybody that gets in his way from pulling these scams and schemes and everything, that's who he's going after. Because from reading those emails, you guys were kind of very cordial and friendly. It wasn't until you started to speak up and tell the truth that you became a villain.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the MO. And the other people too that get involved here, the ancillary characters in this. But we have to, we got to move. We're already 25 minutes into this. We got a lot to cover, Jude. Kim, we got to keep going.
Well, we do.
We got to keep going.
But one of the main reasons, Bobby, I'm doing this also is because he keeps saying, which is not an okay thing with me, that she knows the truth. Her son was raped, and she's hiding behind it, like as if I'm on trial, like as if, what, I have to explain to anybody my relationship. All of those people that knew me knew my relation. I don't have to explain. I'm his mother, not Feldman. He's not, you know what I mean? So I just want to make sure that you understand that I'm not hiding absolutely anything, because I went on Dr. Oz. I mentioned in some interviews and on Dr. Oz Dominic's name because my son mentioned Dominic. He told all his friends about Dominic. I exposed Dominic as well as my son did. And trust me, guys, if it was anyone else that I've ever heard, it's funny, no one in Corey's life ever heard the other name that Feldman is accusing, that he knows. He thinks he's the only one in the whole wide world, since my son didn't want to have anything to do with him after the two Coreys, the only one that actually knows about this huge secret that he told him to tell his life story about, revealing who raped him. You know what? If that was the case, I believe you me, on Dr. Oz, I would have exposed that person, absolutely, with Dominic. But there was nothing for me to expose. So in other words, I'm not hiding anything. You can talk until you're blue in the face. Anyways, I just wanted to make that point. That's it.
And
so go ahead, Bobby.
And all the links will be down in the description. There are going to be a lot of them for this video, by the way. And I'm also going to link to the Dre video where it's not really a video. It's a video of audio. And Dre has said he'll talk till he's blue in the face. That day that Feldman claimed that Corey told him, bro, you gotta, I'll paraphrase, bro, if something happens to me, you gotta share my story. He did not leave his site during that alleged incident. And Dre said he would testify in a court of law. That was never stated.
Yeah.
He never said. He said it in my interview with him. He'll say it again. He said he'll say it in court. He'll say it to police. He'll say it to whoever wants to listen. That didn't happen. And he said he was right there. That's verified. He's on camera. There are people, director, producers, key grips, best boys, every camera operators. They're all there, and they were all testify that Dre was there with him. It was his bodyguard at the time. And his bodyguard said, he never said that. So let me make a segue now. Now, Feldman has failed miserably at the one career that he doesn't really, he still tried to mention Corey, but he doesn't really mention Corey during the music career. But I didn't realize as well, he has a new endeavor. I believe he's becoming a geneticist, or he's purchasing a DNA laboratory now, because apparently people are now going to him to obtain DNA reports and lab results and things like that. Maybe it's a company that he purchased or something like that, because in the National Enquirer, apparently, Jude, you have a grandson. Did you know that?
Wow. I'm in the know, because you know why I'm in the know? Because I got an incredible email. See, it all comes from Feldman, and it's funny that I got this email when it was about doing this documentary, so it takes me a minute to actually try to figure out how his brain works, and how he tries to kind of like frame you in a way.
Set you up,
It sets you up, yes, absolutely. And he set me up so many times in my life, and I absolutely didn't know. And one of them, I'll get back to this, remind me, about this kid thing. But one of the things where he set me up was very interesting, is when he was passing through. First of all, he said that he couldn't come to the funeral because he had no money. But to the media, who believes that they were best friends, I wish the media, are you listening, media? Stop doing that. They were not. Anyways, he actually passed by here, and he said about the funeral, I should say, that he couldn't come to the funeral because he couldn't afford it. And then to the media, he actually said that he didn't want to take away from the funeral and be there, and stuff like that, and that he wasn't invited. Who the hell invites anybody to a funeral? Okay. Not only that, then I heard something else. He accused me or something like that, or he actually filed a report to the police or something like that, that I actually invited my Corey's rapist to the funeral. What in the world, people? Explain to me what is wrong with his brain. He's obsessed with my kid. It is unbelievable. And you know what's funny? It never shows one piece of proof of anything.
No.
Okay?
No.
So it's a little disheartening. And, yeah.
Well, that first
So,
the
I'm
first
sorry I went
the
off.
first excuse was that he couldn't afford to get there. Scott Schwartz said that he offered to pay for him to get there. So what? So he made up a new
Well-
excuse. He made up a new excuse.
I even heard that.
There was
I
an
even heard
offer. There was an offer to get him to that funeral. But then another excuse came up. This is your best friend in the whole world. Your best friend. This is the
do
guy
me a
that you
favor.
can't
Do
keep.
me a favor.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't keep his
Allegedly.
name
Yeah,
out of
you
your
can-
mouth, but you couldn't
allegedly,
attend his
yeah,
funeral.
You can tell. You can tell what's important in his life. I would have borrowed money to go to my best friend's thing.
Me
And
too.
by the way, has anyone, have you people ever heard Corey's friends, like Greg or anybody else, Noah, anyone say anything about my child, anything at all? And did they try to make money off of him in any way, shape, or form, ever, anywhere?
No, everybody's been
Not
trying
to
to
my
do the
knowledge.
opposite. Everybody's been trying to protect him.
If you-
Like really protect him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, because they were friends. Feldman needs to go and find out exactly and learn what the meaning of friendship means, because it's not what he's doing. That is for sure. He's not his brother, he's not his partner, and he's not his best friend, and he knows it, and everybody else knows it. Okay, so let me go back to this. I'm so upset because
That's okay.
it is
Take your time.
amazing. Yeah, I'm very upset because you know why? I decided actually, you know what I did? This was enough. Before I get back into this, I don't want to forget. I'm telling you right now, I saw an interview with Corey Feldman when he came out of court with his what's his name?
Yes.
With his lawyer.
Lawyer, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I actually went as far as reporting him to the Canadian police and to the LAPD. Same person Feldman spoke to when he did the same with me, okay? So I'm so sick of it. I got to tell you, I am sorry I am jumping all over the place, but let me tell you something. This is a bit much. He needs to get a life. And I'm going to get to all the emails, but I want you to see how incredibly sick this guy is, and he will go to any lengths to just prove that he's telling the truth and that somebody is out to get him. Like me. Okay, I'm in Toronto, whatever, I'm minding my own business. I never think of him, but meanwhile, he thinks I'm responsible for not allowing him to name pedophiles, and I'm kind of, in a way, responsible for the trucks that, almost killed him, for the stabbing, for being the head of a wolf pack. There is no wolf pack, schmuck. Anyways.
Judy, family
It's
show.
like, really?
Family show,
Really?
Judy. I don't know where this fucking language is coming from.
I'm sorry. Anyways, there's this one thing. I don't know if you want to put the video up or you want me to read it, but it is and that's why I called and reported him, because you know what? He, in some interviews, especially that one, he's pretty much very close to calling me a freaking terrorist.
Yeah.
Okay? He's saying that I'm conspiring against him because he all of a sudden wanted to name pedophiles and is being stopped by one woman, okay? And I have to read this because this is insane. Really, it is.
It is.
What did it say here? Attorney said that something, the Wolfpack was created. Listen to this. I mean, how insane. The Wolfpack was created in conjunction with a person who's working to keep me silenced. Wow. Who does this think I am? Honestly, the person that should be taking my side. Why am I supposed to take your side? Why? Which is the victim's mother, okay? Organized a conspiracy of 30 or more people to taunt me, terrorize me, and harass me. Wow. Unbelievable. There is much more. I'm sure you're going to show.
And all those.
I have something to say about that. He has 151,000 followers currently on Twitter, and he is worried about the alleged 30 people that taunt and terrorize him. It's because of his inconsistencies. That's why.
Well, I know Kim, but you know what? Listen, but he's blaming me in every single interview, like as if I'm the head of some
I
You know,
agree.
what is that? Like conspiring to get 30 or more people? I mean, listen, every single Snapchat, I'm not on Twitter, but every single, he trolled me so badly,
Mm-hmm.
asking his fans to troll
He
me
asked
on
me.
social, and he
Mm-hmm.
asked you, exactly. So a lot of people sent me Snapchats, so I printed all of those, and I took them
Mm-hmm.
to the police, and I sent them to the LAPD. At
Mm-hmm.
least I have a lot of proof that he's
Absolutely.
taunting me, harassing me,
Mm-hmm.
trolling me, and whatever he's doing, he's putting
Mm-hmm.
on others.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. He personally asked me to watch you and the Angels and report back to him with information, along with many others, along with many, many others.
Yeah,
That's
just
So,
a,
no,
unbelievable.
I
What?
saw that.
there's
I
going
saw
to
that
be a
information.
there
Yeah.
will be a link. There will be
Yeah.
a link to Kim's interview, by the way, just to let everybody know. Kim used to
Right.
be. Is it right to say you were high up in the Feldfam organization, like up at the top at one point?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
and
absolutely fair to say, yes.
yeah, and she is
Yeah.
no longer and has been. Oh, geez, it's been like 7 or 8 months.
It is.
7 or 8 months.
And I've just forgiven myself. I try to forgive myself. I still struggle with it. That I was so blind to all of his lies and manipulations, and it's funny because, you know, he makes claims that Judy is asking us to do things for her, and, you know, that allegedly she's being paid off. Well, that's funny because the only one who ever asked me to do anything was Corey Feldman and his Feld fam.
I
Well-
never tell anybody what to do, what to say. If anything,
Well,
I told
Never.
maybe
Never.
one or two. Never. Maybe I told one or two people that I befriended, like my Corey's fans or whatever, to put something on Twitter because I'm not on Twitter. You know,
Right.
but as far as anything else, listen, you're friends with somebody. I mean, what are you going to do? You know,
Yeah.
but to
Yeah.
troll him and to do the amounts that is with the police right now,
Right.
no, he's the one that actually did it, and you know, there is no Wolfpack, and
Right.
you know, he pretty much called his subscribers the Wolfpack. So there were a lot of my son has an awful lot of fans, and they're multiplying, you know, with the grandchildren and whatever. But thing is that instead of, they used to call themselves the Haim Army, and now they want it to be, oh, we want to be in the Wolfpack. Does that mean that all of my friends, now he's going to tell me who to be friends with now? Does that mean that all of my friends all of a sudden are out to get him? If somebody is out to get him and he really has proof, it has nothing to do with anyone that I know or myself.
The reason he does that is because that's how he organizes and runs his Feld fam. He literally dictates who they talk to, what they can say. He made me write letters to Marcy Hamilton and Child USA that he wanted proofread. He wanted videos sent to him for his approval. So that's why he's projecting onto you what he's doing to his people.
Right, right. And I heard from Margot, you know, these Margot and Jackie and Mara, they all found me, and they were so upset for me because they heard a lot of stuff in his house.
Right.
The way he talked about my Corey and me and scheming and all of that stuff, and they were very, very upset about supposedly some song that he did, which was 222 in memory of Corey. He always made money off of Corey, you know.
Right.
So memory, like as if, you know, I mean, Feldman, you would do me a huge favor. He's coming up on 9 years. Stop putting my brother, I miss him, on whatever. Do me a favor. Stop faking, okay? I mean, that is the biggest insult you can do to a mother, okay? And I'm not your mother. So if you have mommy issues, go and talk to your mother about it. I'm done. I'm done.
Do you think he's jealous because he was emancipated from his parents? Do you think he was jealous of the relationship that you had with Corey?
Well, I am positive that he was jealous, and I feel bad for his life, but he decided to emancipate himself for whatever reason. Obviously, he didn't get along with his parents. I don't know much about his life, believe it or not.
Right.
You know, it's amazing that I really don't, but he makes it think that, you know, but apparently he left his father's house at that time when he got emancipated. Now, this is hearsay. This is what I just heard not long ago. Allegedly, he went to live with Dominic, the guy that molested my son, his friend. You know, so he left his father's house to go and live with Dominic. And, you know, I mean, listen, he's hiding behind my son, and that is a really good reason for him not to ever talk about Dominic or what happened, what my son told him on the two Corys, because you know what? I have never once Not once did I ever hear Feldman mention Dominic's name. Not once.
No.
So in order to hide behind Corey, because he thinks, the more people are going to talk about Haim, the less people are going to ask him about Dominic and what my son said on the two Corys and all of that stuff, Coming
Yep.
out with stories is very, very easy. Prove everything, okay? So anyways, guys, I am telling you right now, I am so done. It's going on 9 years, and I can't believe that I have to do this, but as long as I have freaking breath in me, my son is not here. He can defend himself. Feldman knows exactly about my relationship with my son, and he might have been jealous about it. I don't know, but I can't change that. I'm sorry that he didn't get along with his mother or had as close a relationship as my son and I had. I'm not his mother, though, and I wouldn't want to be. So
Right.
if you have issues, don't attack me, and don't accuse me, and don't put me on trial. What is
Right.
this?
Yes.
Really.
Amen.
Anyway, so DNA, yes, all of a sudden I get an email on August 22nd, 2017 from who else but Feldman, okay? He's jumping up and down at the idea that, oh, my goodness. So this is what he writes, okay, about this kid. And I don't want to talk about this kid really because we sent the mother an email when I found out. We were decent enough to do that, okay? She responded, and she said, we said, send a DNA, and, we're going to do a DNA, and it's between us. It's not between anyone else. And if you agree, we'll take it from there if everything is fine. She was excited. She said, oh, I'm so happy you're willing to do this, blah, blah, blah. That was August of 2017, and she disappeared, and we never heard from her. What am I supposed to believe? Oh, another one, just pretending she's got Corey's kid. What am I supposed to believe since there was no communication whatsoever? But what I did hear much later on is that she was involved somehow with Corey Feldman, And so
the geneticist.
Unbeknownst to me, he sent me this email before I sent the email to his mother. Okay,
Right.
so he goes, the hatred in your heart is mind-blowing. I'm so, what did he say? I'm sorry you have such denial over your son's molestation. That was something else, right? Maybe you are the one being paid to keep silent. And I have to mention his name, did Charlie cut you a big fat check? Is that what's really going on? Wow. He says, you're the liar here.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's the rumor.
That is the rumor, okay, that came from him, this rumor.
Yeah.
And I have to explain how this rumor came about because I should have done that before this email. But anybody wants to speak because I can go on. Okay. And then he goes, and no, I don't talk about Corey anymore, as I have tried to respect your wishes. Are you guys listening to this?
Yes.
Yeah, I've
and that was
heard it all.
August 22nd, 2017. And no, I don't talk about Corey anymore, as I have tried to respect your wishes. Wow. Interesting. I honor Corey's memory through my music because you refuse. Yeah, because you refuse to. Now he's making more fun of my Corey's friends because he's jealous. That's why he called all these people rubberneckers that was sitting in my home mourning for my kid.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
You have a testimony from Greg Harrison as the only comment about your son's legacy on his website. You don't see how insulting that is to your son's legacy? Please tell me, people, that I'm not going crazy. What is he doing to my son's legacy?
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Wake up, he goes to me. Look at how he talks to me, because if my kid was here, and it actually never happened when my kid was alive, my kid would have flattened him. Flatten him. This would have never happened. Wake up. Do something selfless, and open your eyes and mind to the truth. Corey didn't hate me. You poisoned his mind. You tried to make him hate me because of your jealousy. Wow. Really? Yes, I told my son, it's true. I told my son, be careful of this guy through the years. I said, every time you do well, and every time you have movies and you do well, he happens to come around. And he did the same thing. Just remind me to talk about the Playboy mentioned later, please.
Okay.
So he goes like this. Okay. Okay, if you want to make things right, then stop the bullshit and do something to make your kid proud and find out if you have a grandson. If you have a grandson you have been ignoring. How can I be ignoring something I'm not aware of? Oh my God. Okay. Sure, maybe his mom is crazy, but regardless the truth, listen to this one. This one floored me. Regardless of the truth, his mother has made him believe it. What does that mean, you guys?
Wow.
His mother made him believe it because his mother told him maybe that, whatever. But anyways, I don't want to talk about it because you know what happened? It's really shameful. I'm going to tell you, this kid doesn't deserve it, whether he is or he isn't. The mother disappeared. She decided, maybe Feldman, I don't know. I'm just saying. Maybe Feldman found her or whatever, or she found him, and he decided to kind of use both of them in his documentary just to get to me and say, look, I did allegedly, you guys, I found out that he did some sort of a DNA. She went to him and not to me. Okay, isn't that just weird to me? I'm sorry, but I don't know.
It is weird.
It's weird to the rest of the rational
Something
world.
fishy around here.
It's weird to the rest of the rational world.
Right.
Well, exactly. So so apparently I heard recently that he actually he paid for some sort of a DNA so he can do it with some cigarette butts that somebody sent him. First I heard that it was like a piece of hair. Then I heard it was cigarette butts.
Oh, there was seven or eight different stories. We have seven or eight different stories that have been passed around.
Yes. And then there was no DNA test done, and then there were, and then supposedly someone said that Bernie offered DNA, and nothing was offered.
Are you kidding me? I spoke to him and I said, hey, he says, what are you talking about? I've never heard about him or her, and I don't want to know about Feldman. And, if it is, it is. I mean, we'll see what happens in the end if they ever get in touch. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, well, people out there are saying that you paid for it or you gave a DNA. He goes, why are you listening to these people? That's what he said to me. He said, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to have anything to do with Feldman. He's not, he's not in this world for me, and don't bother me. Pretty much.
Right.
Okay, so they're lying. They're lying through their teeth, and I'm sick and tired of all these people. I am. I'm sick of. Just leave us alone. Really, just leave us alone.
I want to run over Could I run over the logic? Let me just run over the logic of that very quickly. So this woman, decides that she's going to wait a dozen years or so, give or take, and going to keep it quiet, for whatever reasons, I wanted to make sure he was clean and all this other, whatever.
Yeah.
And so this woman who apparently was on reality shows and a wannabe actress and all this other stuff, not suspicious at all, has this child. And then after one email, which I read that you sent me, it was a very accommodating, very, that your daughter wrote, very accommodating, saying, yeah, great. Well, why don't we organize to, take the test, blah, 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 blah. And then she also wrote back very cordially, very politely. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh my God.
It was great.
This is great.
Yeah.
It was such a great back and forth. But then I guess that's when Corey Feldman purchased a DNA laboratory or got his advanced degree in
I guess, I don't know, something like that, which is really
in genetics or something. And she thought, wait, you know what's better? What? And by the way, a trashy little YouTuber woman said, yeah, it was shady as fuck. They wanted them to come up to Canada. What the fuck is that shady shit? Yeah, that's, you know what? Wow, that's shady. Wanting to actually have the people come up and actually have you actually be there and witness it. No, that's so shady. But anyway, so she decided, wait a minute. why don't I just pick up the phone to X80 star Corey Feldman, and he'll help with all this? Because you know what? I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I think President Trump is hiring Corey for special tactics and investigations, because apparently all you have to do is call Feldman. You know, build a wall. Call Feldman.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned
anything.
Well, I just, you know what? I don't want to stoop myself to their level. I don't want to talk because there's a kid, you know, in the middle of all of this. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that maybe she's done that, but she knows exactly what she needs to do, and she chose not to. So the first thing I thought of is, hey, you know what? Maybe he convinced her to just be in the documentary. Isn't that a great way to surprise and shock everyone in the whole wide world?
But it goes deeper.
That the Haim family didn't want to do a DNA?
But it goes deeper.
Remember,
it goes deeper because remember, she ended up apparently working with another crazy-ass psycho YouTuber to sell the story to the National Enquirer. Also, definitely on the up and up. That's very legitimate to sell your story to the National Enquirer. That's definitely, I mean, when you want to get to the bottom of things, you call Corey Feldman, and then you take it to the National Enquirer. That's exact. You know what? OJ would have been arrested for those 2 murders if they had just called Feldman and then brought it to the National Enquirer. They went through all that rigmarole with the LAPD and the prosecutors, and no, call Feldman, then go to the National Enquirer. Done. It would have been done.
Well, the thing is, maybe he didn't have anything to do with that. Maybe he did. I don't really know. But you know what? Somebody did. And
he put them in a documentary. He bragged about having them in a documentary. He had something to do with it. Once again, a documentary now, thanks to, you know, that may or may not be successful, but it is, of course, in large part, thanks to your son. Again.
And again, look, this is what I was trying to tell you. The thing is look at how he is deflecting from talking about his own life and actually naming the other 3 people that he already knows that he mentioned on the Megyn Kelly show.
Thank you.
You know,
yes.
All right, where are the names? Why do you need? My son went and he actually exposed his own abuser without making a penny, without waiting until he made a documentary or a movie or anything else. He just said it. You know, he exposed him, and that shocked Feldman. Why does he always have to wait? He waited for his book, and he said, well, I couldn't say any names because, you know, the publisher didn't want me to say any names because, you know, only one. The movie. Oh my God, he made himself look great. And my son,
by the way,
you know.
By the way, Kim, we have not gotten word from any production people associated with that. Have you or Stacy or anybody uncovered that little tidbit? Has anyone corroborated that they refused to have him say names? Have you actually heard that? Has anybody from that movie said that to you?
No.
No, they haven't, have they? No.
No.
That's interesting. Just all these little interesting tidbits. That's interesting.
Well, and, you know, about the spokesperson for the family, I posted a video that I had come across on YouTube, and I got attacked and actually threatened, and she wanted to make a GoFundMe so she can come to Canada and kick my ass about the child.
Oh, but,
you know? So all I was saying was that there was no DNA testing done.
This is the same woman, by the way.
Fire her.
This is the same woman, and everyone, pay close attention now. You aren't going to mishear me. What you hear coming out of my mouth is actually what happened. Corey Feldman, this is an exclusive right now. I'm glad you all hung on for this first 54 minutes because you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it now. Corey Feldman, according to the YouTube conspirator with this woman and the kid and Feldman and the documentary and everything, has dropped dime on Feldman and has conveyed to me that he is a clone. You heard that correctly, everyone. Corey Feldman,
Yeah.
according to the YouTuber,
Yeah.
that is coordinating with this woman and the kid and Corey and whatnot, he's a clone. Corey Feldman is a clone. In other words, we're not sure what happened to the real Corey Feldman. The one that we see now
Yeah, well,
is a laboratory produced clone of the original human being. Anybody is that sinking in to anybody out there? I'll give you a second with that, because that's a lot to take in, by the way. That's a lot to take in. He's a clone. Folks, hey, Judy, if we're inconveniencing you, we're very sorry about that. Why don't you go get that phone? I'm sorry to be bothering you.
no, you know what? No, it's my neighbor. She probably wants to make sure I'm okay after I got back from the hospital or something, But it's all right.
So,
what was I going to say? Yeah,
well,
you were
going to
woman that you're talking about, actually, aside from, somebody that probably had something to do with the Inquirer, I'm not sure, like her spokeswoman. You should see how she talks about me, too, on YouTube. And I've never met her, never heard of her, never heard of half of these people.
Neither have I.
The world?
Bobby and I, we got videos made about us just as much of the people that we've never even spoken to, or they're being censored by us. We've never even had a communication with them before, but we feature in everyone's videos, so
it's great.
We just laugh at this point.
You know what?
Guys, just to get away from that for a minute, I just found a note or whatever that, that little picture that Feldman said, oh, look, now I can tell his story because of some autographs that he sent,
right?
That he gave Feldman from Lucas or whatever, and we're wondering. So I found another card that he wrote to somebody else. Corey and I were like brothers. Anyways, so he wrote the same thing. So I want Feldman to know that he's not the only one, that my son actually signed that bros till the end and stuff like that. So a few other people that were actually his best friends, and that doesn't give, but the fact that he could have attached that picture to actually say, you see, he wants me to tell his story. You know what I mean? Just like what he did with, you know what? He finds anything and everything just to give him a good reason to do what he's doing. He would oh boy, from one thing to the next, whatever.
Right. Well, I'll close out. I'll close out part one. I'll close out part one with my shock and awe of the stupidity of the average internet user, and and also the conclusion of what will suffice, what will actually get to the bottom of the situation pertaining to this alleged grandkid. So to summarize, a woman out of nowhere, kind of a down and out sort of person. I'm not going to get into her personal life and everything that I've heard and read about her and all this other stuff.
Right.
This person that's had a lot of trouble, okay, let's just put it that way, has had a lot of trouble.
Fair enough.
Tries to come to Judy and her family to produce this alleged Corey Haim child. Then, after a nice little transaction, decides that there's going to be interaction with Corey Feldman, and then there's going to be interaction with these nut job YouTubers that believe in the most outlandish conspiracy theories. And then the story about how they obtain this DNA has changed 7 or even 9 times. I'm hearing everything possible. Marcia Clark had less DNA from OJ. But anyway, so here's the bottom line.
But don't forget that I heard that news first from Corey, who was sending me an email, right?
Yeah, of course. Email. Folks, like I said, here's your tidbit for today. You want something solved? Call Feldman and then take it to the National Enquirer. Your problem is solved. You're welcome. Yeah. Like and subscribe. But anyway,
it's like mind blowing when you go through all of this stuff. It's like, wow, how many more years? Really, what is it that you want exactly? What is it? Because I'm not allowing you, and I don't want you to mention my son's name in such an ugly way. Since
Yeah.
you know that it was only Dominic, I'm not giving you, like, in other words, I'm taking away the opportunity that he can do something, because taking away, not being happy about him using my Corey's name is he can't do anything. He can't seem to do anything on his own. Just talk about his own life story. Oh my
Well,
God, it's unbelievable to me.
we're gonna
Disrespectful to
we're
the
gonna
dead.
end we're gonna end part one with, and I'm gonna say her name, because it is out there in the news and whatnot. Angela, I've said this before on a live video. You want this done properly? No problem. The Haim family is willing to accommodate a proper DNA test where the evidence is actually right in. I don't even know if it's accredited or licensed or however it works. I've never had a paternity test done or a DNA test done. But if you acquiesce to an actual DNA test where all parties are involved, all parties, and the Haim family can produce actual DNA, they will produce real Haim DNA right then and there for the doctors or the lab technicians or however it's done. I don't even pretend that I know how it's actually done. But if you want to agree to do that properly on the table, not under the table, not in a half-assed documentary by that idiot, not with the National Enquirer or the fucking Blast or TMZ, over the table where everybody can see it, in an actual laboratory where everybody is involved. You want to do it properly, the way it's actually done, they're willing to do it. So if you really want this done, Angela, if you really want it done, you contact us, we get it done. And that's it. And it will be done, not in a fucking documentary and not with some washed up fucking 80s idiot. No, not going to happen that way. No, you can send all your conspiracy theories after everyone, and that's all there is to it. So we're going to cut this off now. Thanks, everyone. I want to thank everyone for watching.
I just want to say,
Well, we have part two, Jude. We have part two.
They put this kid in part two. Right, okay.
Don't worry. I know you're chomping at the bit. All right, she's been waiting 9 years. To put a foot in his ass.
I just wanted to say pretty much that I hate the idea that this poor kid that I don't know is in the middle of all of this. Anyways, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
That's all I want to talk about this.
Yep. Everybody, at the end of the day, just remember that this woman, and I'm not bashing her, I'm not beating her up, but this woman and Feldman and those YouTubers and these idiots that are all involved have clearly not taken into account what a 13 or 14 is the kids some 13 or 4 have a total disregard for a 13 or a 14-year-old kid, because apparently from the things I've read wants nothing to do with any of this nonsense. So let that be clear. Let that sit there, that adults, unscrupulous adults, shady adults are all trying to make things happen, and they are not having any regard. The ambassador of Child USA doesn't have any regard for this kid, okay? So let that sink in while you all wait for part two of this round table chat. Well, it's not really a round table. It's more of a triangle. All right, folks. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in part two. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Judy.